What's going on, everybody? This is my Model 3 2019 long range performance, and I just had this car for about 1 year now, so I'm going to be giving you guys my honest opinion after 1 year of having this car. And to say the least, I have driven this car through snow, I have driven this car through some like rough terrain, taken a little off-roading a little bit, and I have also camped in this car. So I'm going to try to give you guys a completely unbiased review, and I'm going to be touching on 3 different categories in this car. First is going to be the exterior, battery degradation, and interior. So one of the first things I wanted to touch on, especially with the Model 3 and just most Teslas in general, is the outer coat is absolutely trash compared to other leading manufacturers at this price point. So I don't know if you can notice, usually, you know, you get a lot of chips and wear and tear from driving the car a lot. That's just natural. But if you can look a little bit closer, these white chips right here get eaten up really quickly as you drive the car more, and you know, instant torque and speeding through the highways really doesn't help its case. Let's have a walk over here. I have a couple of more scratches and just paint wear and tear from over the years. I don't have any mud flaps, but as you can see, the damage is pretty severe. And after having this car for about a year, it's pretty necessary to put on a new coat, and that's going to be running you roughly around $400 or $500, kind of just depending on your area. But nonetheless, the paint has held up in most places except for where it makes the most contact while driving. So this right side mirror and your front bumper. So one of the things with the Model 3s is that they don't come with a spare tire, and actually none of the Teslas come with a spare tire. So I found myself run into a situation where if I've gotten a flat on my back tire, and you either have to call Tesla for that and they'll bring you out a spare, or you can just call whoever your car insurance is and have your car towed to your nearest Tesla dealership where they can help replace it for you and give you that loaner wheel. But not having a spare tire has been terrible, especially when you're stuck in locations that are really hard to get to. They tend to take a lot of time to come and reach you to give you that spare tire and to tow you. So that is probably one of the only downsides to having a Model 3 without a spare tire. One of the big problems I have with the Model 3 and a lot of the Teslas in general is the material that they use for the interior. So as you can see, I have aftermarket strips or leather strips to cover the bottom paneling of this this driver door, and that's because when I come out of the car, the material that they use scuffs extremely easily. As you can see here, the scuff marks definitely do pile up and they just don't look that great in the car. But there's a lot of aftermarket things that you can do to the car to kind of mitigate these problems. Use that same type of material under the steering wheel and on top of the dash, and it is just very easy to clean, but also just very easy to scratch. And one of the things that I do have to give Tesla props for is this synthetic leather. As you can see, I have white interior, and as you can imagine, it does get dirty very quickly. And one of the things is this material is unbelievably easy to clean. All I use is dish soap and water. Sometimes I'll use a interior cleaner, nothing leather specific, and most, if not all, marks on the seat will usually come off if you give enough elbow grease for it. So props to Tesla for making some of the most durable seats ever. And they're not just durable, but they are also extremely comfortable. I have logged in many hours into this car over the years, and I still think these are one of the best seats, if not the best seats in its price range. And this is me comparing it to my old BMW 328i, which those seats got super uncomfortable after a long period of time, but I never had that problem with the Model 3. Goes for the steering wheel of the Model 3. It's made out of the same material as the seat, super easy to clean, very comfortable to grasp in your hands, and does not mark up as easily. But the center dash, where you have your two compartments for your charger here and your extra space, right? The OEM material that they use, the glossy black finish, gets scratched up very easily through lots of wear and tear. As you can see right here, this is the original glossy that comes with the car. It just scratches very easily, so I had to put in a aftermarket piece that really helps mitigate the ugly glossy scratch look that comes with use and wear and tear. People that tend to sit in the passenger seat scuffs the glove box, and it gets scuffed super easily because it's made out of that same material as the side paneling on the door and the top dash. So there's actually no way to sometimes get those scuff marks out. So your best bet is to put some type of aftermarket covering like I do right here for your glove box. Well, obviously the interior and exterior portion, through lots of wear and tear, is something usually a lot of people can overlook and usually easily fix. But one of the things that's super hard to fix on the Model 3 and most Teslas in general is the battery degradation. So I've had this car for about 1 year now, and the long range edition goes up to 310 at a full 100% charge. Obviously, Tesla recommends you only charging it up to 80% so you don't degrade the battery as fast. But I find myself needing the extra miles to go up to 310 if you're a heavy commuter like myself. So after 1 year, the battery has degraded to the point where it will no longer go up to that 310. The 100% charge now only goes up to 300 and sometimes 298, 297. And so you're looking at a minus 11 to 12 miles on its total range after about 1 year of usage. However, if you are the type to be more economically friendly and try to get the most miles out of your battery, they do have a section on the Model 3 control panel where if you just go through the driving settings, you can change your acceleration to chill, and this will greatly increase your battery range because you're not using as much instant torque that you can out of the battery. And one of the other great things about the Model 3 and all Teslas in general is its regenerative braking. So I haven't actually touched my brake in a very long time because of its regenerative braking. So you have to get used to this feeling of feathering your pedal back and forth, because once you let go of the pedal, the regenerative braking automatically kicks in, and that regenerative braking is very strong and actually slows down your vehicle at a rapid pace. So that is one of the great things about that. You honestly just have to never touch your brake unless you really need to, or need that instantaneous brake. So one of the other things about the Model 3 that I don't have a very high opinion of is the standard brakes that come along with the Model 3 performance package. Now, yes, these brakes do work well, and the regenerative braking works fantastic for day-to-day driving. If you do like to push your cars to its limits, that brake system that the Tesla has, especially for the all-wheel drive, is just sorely lacking in that department. And obviously you can always change out those brakes, but that just tends to be a lot of extra work. One of the other things that I was honestly a little bit afraid of, especially with having a battery car for the first time, is how well the suspension will do and how much of that instantaneous torque that you can gain from the Tesla after the years. So I've had this car for about a year, and I could say that that instantaneous torque is still there. That 0 to 60 is still in that 3.8, 3.9 second like it says it is. And that's one of the great things that I absolutely love about this car, is that over the years you don't feel any sluggish, you don't feel like you're not getting that instantaneous torque or that instantaneous power. Like when you still press on the pedal to this day, you still get all of that instant torque pushing you through. So that is my 2019 Model 3 1-year review of having the car, and I still have only good things to say about the car. I'm excited to drive it even more and even put more miles on it. Stay tuned. I will have a review of the 2019 Model 3 and the 2021 Model 3 refresh, where they have a couple of new features that they're adding on the 2021. So stay tuned for that. And I'm also going to be uploading my 75K review on the Model 3, so stay tuned for that.